places where angels refuse to go to. They are doing something that others have not done because they want to create a result that nobody has gotten before. They are called trailblazers. They go through hell and high water. They suffer for others to find their way. They are the pace setters. They are men who will not bend but get to where they are going. They have 3 keys, and I want to give you. Others may call it 10 people, but it still rotates around these 3. Number 1, the trailblazer's key is do it like there is no other person going to do it. Do what you are doing like nobody else will do it. You are the only one for it. By so doing, you are not looking back. That's the trailblazer's key. Every trailblazer doesn't look at who is joining him or who is not joining him. He just keeps moving. He's driven from the inside. He's more than a church man. You come support him, okay? You don't, that's your cup of tea. You will get to where he's going. Is he going to suffer things? Many, many. Number 2, they do it like their very own life depends on what they're doing. Every trailblazer does whatsoever like his life depends on it. By so doing, they are never frustrated. They are never depressed. They don't lose enthusiasm. Challenges don't make any meaning to them. Because they understand that that is the way up. It's the key, one of the keys of the trailblazers. My life depends on it. Whatever will give your life significance will almost eat up that life. I went to Grand Hotel and I saw Mongo Park Hall. And I went behind one of these headquarters of the white man, Mongo Park headquarters, behind in Asaba there. And I found the little boat through which he sailed from Ibusa to here. Not as big as that. On River Niger, they don't know where they are going to. Some of them were bitten by malaria. They were sick of many things. They don't know where they are going to, but they are going somewhere. When they arrived at Sabah, everywhere they went, they put their office. Today, you cannot talk about Nigeria and forget Mongo Park. Even though some of the things they said about him was a lie. They said Mongo Park, they would discover River Niger. Is it true? Was it ever missing? But because you didn't do anything about it, the man that did something about it must take your name. Number 3. Every trailblazer gives his best to one thing at a time. They give their best to whatever they are doing. They have no room for mediocrity. This is the trailblazer's secret. Now that you've had that, it came from my book. The subject I want to share this morning is what will the world be like if everyone looks like you? Did you hear what I just said? What will the world look like if everyone looks like you? Let's first of all look at the pattern man, Jesus Christ. If you are in this church and you have listened to me enough, you will know Adam is not a pattern man. He's only a kind. The name Adam is not a man, he's a kind. And the kind is not the real one. John chapter number 9, let's listen to Jesus from verse 9, from verse 4 to 5. John chapter 9, I'm going to take three readings to make my text. That's how strong it is. John chapter 9, from verse 4 to 5. Read for me.
I must do the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can walk. As long as I live, I am in the world. I am the light of the world.
I will do the work now. Now that I'm alive, I will do the work. That was Jesus talking about. That was God giving you time to everything you are doing. I just said this a few minutes ago. Whatever you do and you don't give it time to, it's like a child's play. Agam, Mr. Agams has died. Procrastination is a lazy man's apology. No, obo nature dabamiri. Akwa balaga na mmiri abro something as dabamiri. Jesus said, as long as I'm in the world, I understand the law. There comes a night season in one's life that he cannot do. But listen to me, this one is not talking about the ignorant time. It's talking about when your hands and legs can no more carry you. Some of the things you couldn't do last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you are now begging God, like me. There were certain things I didn't do. I was waiting for something to do, something would do something, and all the plans shattered. I'm now asking God, help me, O Lord. Whether you like it or not, I'm not getting younger. My heart could be as strong as a stone. My legs are still carrying me like the legs of a young man. That doesn't make me young. So there cometh a time. He said, but as long as I live, I am the light of the world. What is the light of the world? What does he mean by that? Is that what it is? Ngige. As long as I'm in the world, I am Ngige. No. As long as I'm in this world, I am created to be the answer to so many problems of the world. The answers to the world is found in me. And if you're going to be a Christian, the pattern person that Christ is building is only giving you what you came here to do. For those of them who are hurrying to go to heaven and you don't produce answers to anything, you ain't going nowhere. He said, as long as I'm in the world, are you still alive? Talk back to me. You still alive? Let me ask you one question. I don't know why I'm still trying to ask you a question from my text. Are there problems that came your way that you had no answer to? Yet the ones that brought these problems knew and thought that you had something to offer. Who is disappointment? Not only the people. Who is disappointed? Not only the people, but God himself. Go with me. Matthew chapter 5.
If the salt have lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and he giveth light unto all that are in the house.
Now listen.
Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good work and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
I said you are the salt of the world. If I want to know what the world is, I should come to you. The church lost relevance and we're holding to nonsense. The church is the answer. If you want to find out what the world should be like, you should come to the church to learn. If you want to find out what administration should be like, they should come to learn. One, if the administration in the church is good, then the one in the society must be good. Because the people that came to church came voluntarily. But the one in the city, the one that the government produced, they are paid. So they have no choice but to control themselves. So if the church can be orderly, it becomes a challenge to the world. But the church is not. So when you want to find out the true taste of Christianity and God, there's nowhere to look to. He said, you are the light of the world. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. He now said, you are the light of the world. In other words, the naughty questions, naughty problems of the world, they should come to us to find the answers. But I want to throw this back to you. In today's Christianity, it is the center of fools. Somebody because he has 20 million in his account, he opens his mouth to tell you what he has education. Education. You will think you're making money. You are not developing your head. The money in your hand will look like toilet paper one day. You are the light of the world. He said a city set on a hill. Now, why did he say city set on a hill? One, it takes time to construct on the hill. Number two, it becomes the focus of everybody. When you are a house built, if your house is on the city, the light from that house is seen by everybody. Sometimes if you look at the olden pictures, I was looking at Edinburgh yesterday when they were showing the picture of Edinburgh, Scotland. Some of the castles were built on the hill. Beautiful houses, ancient houses. They were not broken. And you look at the energy and effort that went into through all manner of architecture. You will know those who spent time to build those things. If you're a city set on a hill, a house built on the hilltop, simply means an example to follow. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. The light was good. When God said, let there be light, He was not talking about Tuli. God just came out of something. Break down in the order of His leadership by some of His sons that He created. He said, no, I'm not going to allow this happen again. I'm going to make people come out in different years. I gave some people one book to read, and the people that took that book have not given it to me. Every 1,000 years, God has his own. I don't know who collected that book for me. Every 1,000 years, God has his own. And they began to talk about Abraham, talk about Moses, talk about that. How God puts people who checkmate the nonsense that comes on the earth. And the man said in that book, he said, the coming of Jesus did not stop that either. He multiplied it. Before it was 1,000 every 1,000 years. Now it is almost every 2 days. A son that will break the status quo. Because there's no status in the status quo. You're a fool, not a Christian. And that's what it's doing. That's how religion builds very fast. One thing I like about science is that as they finish one research, they're in for another one. If they're not doing anything, they're improving on the last one. Otherwise, do you know when planes used to park and look up? In the 1940s, when the first plane, I think 1944 or so, when the first plane came up, the tire down is very small, the big ones in front, so it parks and goes up like that. It has one engine in the nose that takes time to turn. But look at how that thing is now balanced on the ground. And now, the latest plane is no more in classes. It's in rooms. The latest plane has showers inside. You come, you open your room, you go and sleep. When they land, you land. Somebody said, not be air. Yes. We all flew in the air, but we all did not enjoy the same thing. I lived like my home in the air. You were. Science has improved it. As one is coming out, the other one. Now, I see each time I look at Toyota started rather very funny. Each time they build one and everybody goes around that one, they move. This one I'm riding, they call it Japanese mistakes. Because that car is solid. He's rugged, Nkume. They say, we'll not try this kind of thing again. They started building the ones that are very light. He's a God that works with men. And not everybody. He only works with those who are available. And sometimes when God wants to work with people, He does not check your immediate strength at that time. That's why we say availability will availability. You may not be wonderful. Sometimes there are people in the Bible you look at and you want to ask God, did you make any mistake? Did you make some mistake? If you are looking for the best man to use, why David? A rapist? Who will sleep like Obasanjo, his son's daughter, his son's wife? But that's the person God said that's the one I want. Because it's available to me. Every error came in from one man. And the correction came from the one man too. Romans chapter 5 verse 17, read for me.
For if by one man's offense reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one man, Jesus Christ.
From one man, sin came into the world. From one man, destruction came into the world. From one man, trouble came into the world. Also by one man, correction came. This is God's way of answering the problems of the earth. Huh? Did you hear what I'm saying? Now, the reason you saw a problem is because God has put something inside you that can answer to that problem. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Is that not true? If God allows you to see a problem, it's because inside you there is an answer to that problem. Madam, don't just spend all your time looking at the error of your husband. Is there anything you can do to help that situation? Otherwise, you are so irrelevant to life. Is there anything you can do to help that person? Because the minute he stops, you will be happier. If he may be female, on a bonye mero if I got instead of spending all the whole time telling the stories of war and how your husband became this, became that, and some people you are talking to are laughing. And no fear. You change your che. Come here, Ganaba, wouldn't why you connect neck. Is no what they enjoy. Getting them puputilo. Makitilim puputilo. If you know why I can enjoy. It was a lesson who sang that song. A man was complaining that he had no shoes until he went out and found a man who had no legs. He knelt down and said, "God, thank you. At least I have legs, no shoe cannot." What of when you know legs? Okay, talking. Any challenge that comes your way is because God has an answer in you. And God is still looking for men. Not with trouble, not consumers, not beggars, not those who will see all the troubles in the world, but those who will see the trouble and bring answers to them. Ezekiel chapter 22 verse 30. Ezekiel 22. Ezekiel 22:30. Read for me.
And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. But I found no one.
I look for a man, God is saying, a man who will come out and stand and make up the hedge. A man who will get up one morning and invent a fan. Invent an air conditioner so that even when the scorching sun comes, some people, they get into some place to cool. That's why you have one there. I look for one man who will get up in the morning and say, no, these children are suffering. Let's give them something to eat. I look for not somebody who will come and tell the story and walk away. I look for one man who will make up the hedge. Those who will find a bridge to cross that, and not those who will tell you how deep the gulf is. Huh? That's a story of war. I look for a man. And God is still looking for one man who will stand with him. Not going to church. One man who will get out to this society and said, God has done everything. The problem is not with God. The problem is with us. Look for one man. The church gave us a vague picture of God, a wrong picture of the God we serve. If God created this world and poured all the problems that is in this world into this world, and he sent you here to come and be here, then he must be a wicked father. And that is not the God I serve. How did the problems come? We sold ourselves for nothing, but we shall be bought by a price. The earth was not given to the devil. man sold the earth to the devil. I'd like to take you a little more. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4 to 6. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4 to 6. Genesis 2, 4 to 6. Read for me.
4 to 6.
Genesis 2, 4 to 6.
Okay. These are the generations of the heaven and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the heaven and the earth, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God has not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground.
Now, this is the generation that is auto according. From cradle, ab initio, from time immemorial, this is how God planned it to be. That everything will remain. Will take a status quo stand. Will remain in the usual stand until one man gets up. That's called the law of inertia. Is that everything was normal? Normal things happen normally. And the sad fact is that people now enjoy normal things. It's normal. We even formed the phrase for it. It is the norm. So after God created that, God saw it happen. Everything was normal. And then the earth was watering, the mist was going out of the earth. By God's arrangement, earth has a way of managing itself. When it is brought to a standstill, it has a way of managing itself. The earth has a way of making things happen for itself without man's effort. But if it's going to take a new turn, if it's going to move any further on this surface, it's going to be man. God did not come to do it. Because this is the earth he has prepared for man. It is a law that has been there. You are the child of God. Let's see. Raise up your hand. Let's see. You don't believe you're a child of God. That's why your hand is not up. Okay. Who built your house? Talk back to me. Huh? You did. I thought it was your father. I thought God would come from heaven and come and build the house for you. He said nothing could happen. Even herbs, the cure for things. About that, God made room for the earth to produce whatever toxic, corona, cholera, all of them. They were there before. They were there, but no man was able to get them functional. Because there was no right man who can till the ground, who can make things work. I'd like to ask one question. Are you a consumer or a contributor? Are you the man God is looking for? Are you a man that God will not want to see? Everything on earth requires man to move here. Stop this church foolishness. Oh Lord, come down and bath me. Oh Lord, come and give me food. I don't know how God will do it, but I know he will do it. You're a madman, you'll be poor forever. Even if God is going to ask you to go and beg, He will not bring the man you beg for into your house. You have to go out there to meet the man. I met a boy who told me, God told me to stay here. That's also pastor say he never greeted anybody. They came to his house, so I'm not going anywhere. Today he's still there waiting for somebody that will come to his house to give him money. What do you want? If it is God's will that you will have it, it also must be your will that you will work for it. Nothing will change because you prayed. I believe in prayer more than you. Nothing will change because you spoke in tongues. I speak in tongues better than you. And I was here, my eyes was going blind. They're talking about coronavirus. My own is cornea virus. Losing my two sides at the same time. What did I do? I don't know. Blamed it on cement, blamed it on block, blamed it on everything. I can't live blaming on this on myself. I tried around, so I'm going to step out. That's why I'm seeing the little I'm seeing now. Otherwise, I would have resigned to faith. And then all of you, every morning, you come and run around me. Go to heaven. Give me a pastor. It may be good for a religious gambling. It doesn't produce any result. Whatever must happen requires your effort to happen. I look for a man that will make up the hedge. I'm going to show you. Read me 1 Samuel 17, 50 to 52. I'm going somewhere now. You know the story of Goliath. This man did a seminar of fear, like church. When you get to a place, they say altar versus altar. What are they telling you? This man's altar is full of juju. This is altar. Where did they get it from? 1 Kings 19. It has nothing to do with that. This man will kill this one, this one will kill this one. When they build their altar, and this, you build your altar, and this and that. What they are stirring up in your heart is fear. Fear makes you believe that your God doesn't have enough strength to match that of the devil. Now Goliath came out for 40 days. Even the king that was chosen because of height, Obiribu Atalaru, could not do something. His knees were knocking together when he saw Saul. And this man called Saul, there was no record of his exploits in war before, except they said he has been champion from his youth, but they didn't tell us what he killed. It's just this extra size from the family of Goliath, from Gath. Some of you live very big historic lives. You see people, their CV already is intimidating you. They tell you, Rockefeller will be in attendance. Who is Rockefeller? Now, nobody will tell you that Rockefeller died so many years ago. And who are you afraid of? The man who wrote so many years ago. So, okay, Okotiebu is coming. Who is Okotiebu? The first minister of finance of Nigeria. He's coming to this meeting. What is he coming to? He's coming to display money. So, Okotiebu. As you are going, your heart is saying Okotiebu. Okotiebu. Ndijego. Meanwhile, Okotiebu died in 1966 in the coup of Nzog. But that is the man that is intimidating you from his grave. Because you live in the past. You are not current with the God you serve. When David came, he couldn't. The new generation Christians that would believe the Lord had no time for big CVs. They have no time for your record before. Is it not what we say that I get them before not be property? I used to be. So what? What others were running away from, he was running to. Challenges is only what brings the best out of you. How willing you are able to attack problems under God. If your God is big enough, you cannot be this weak in your heart. If your God is big, if I tell you what people told me in these eyes, some were said before my wife. And some stories were told me when I was hallucinating. Because I bemoaned these eyes like anything. I was so depressed to the point I would sit down alone in the parlor. Alone, focusing that. I began to see so many things. It's a very dangerous state to get. I had to call myself out. What is this, John? Don't worry, I'll give you stories. Don't worry. Why? Was it the eye that was troubling me? No. The fear of becoming blind. The fear of losing what I'm doing. Some of you don't know most of the times when I come up here. I come up there with broken body. But this time I touch the mic. It's like everything is gone.